Hello and welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that bit of footage. Had quite a bit of fun putting that together. So today is the 4th of November. So I'm travelling down to Leicester for the Train Collectors Society show on the 5th of November, Saturday. I'm hoping to meet up with a couple of people there and bring back a few bits and pieces like I normally do. I've also arranged to pick up some extra 00 track, so I'll be able to make a few adjustments to what we've got down on here, because I've pretty much run out of straight pieces. Let's get this Duchess just round the one more time. We'll bring it back to the Triang station, I think. Let's see if we can get in a little bit lower and see that valve gear. Now I've got this big red box here with the terminal through type station. We'll have a quick look at that. So let's see if we can bring this to a gentle stop along that outer platform there. Yeah, that's turned into a very long train. So I've got a couple of extra sort of blood and custard type coaches there. So actually let's draw that forward and we'll have a quick look at those while we're at it. Yeah, so I'm hoping to pick up a couple of things at the show on Saturday, and we'll have a look at a few items when I get back. But I'm also going to try and get that terminus station in there that we're looking at there. So if I can dig out the numbers for these coaches, I'll make an attempt at putting those in the bottom of the screen there. So these have all got metal wheels. I think we've seen the rear two before, and this is the restaurant car there. And we've just got another coach there, and then the Duchess of Montrose we've seen before. Let's see if we can back that back to the station. Very powerful locomotive, this. There we go. Let's just bring that to a stop there for a moment. I'm going to flip the camera around. It's getting rather heavy that way around. So yeah, Leicester is a good sort of 3 and a bit hour drive for me I'm near Newcastle, and Leicester's quite a bit down the country. So this is the terminus or through station composite kit, and I think it retained Hornby 00's catalogue number, and just gaining an R when Triang Hornby took it over. So 5083 there. So this is the cream one. I do have, if you have a look in the insert picture, I do have the maroon version of this. This one's in slightly nicer condition. This box is very poor. It's seen better days. I'm having trouble lifting that off there. So it's definitely a bit weak, shall we say. Let's pop that down there. So the rest of the station looks in fairly good condition. I bought this has got to be getting on 5 or 6 years ago, and never did sort of get around to using it. And the maroon one, I sort of did have the idea in mind that I might, with the System 6 track, get it as a terminus station at the end there, but I needed so much extra space. I think it's 11 or 16 inches extra width I needed on the edge of the railway to sort of build that in. It's quite a monster. It's quite a big station. So there is the wonderful instructions. So I think Hornby 00 introduced this into their range in the late 50s, along with a number of other plastic buildings. But when Triang absorbed what was left of Hornby 00 in the mid-60s, this was one of the items which was carried over along with a few of their other sort of buildings and platform sections. So, and eventually Triang did produce this in the Triang maroon colour, I think in 68, 69, possibly 1970, but it disappeared quite rapidly. So they had, rather than cream, it had maroon buildings and grey platforms with potentially white edges. Some interesting notes written on the back of this. Let's see if we can get that the right way around. There we go. So somebody's made some notes. That looks like Super 4 track numbers there. Quite interesting. So I'm not sure how much of this I can get out, and I think I'll before I shoot the next bit of the video, I'll try and assemble this in as it says there, and we'll have a look at it. But I have plans to use it with some of the platform sections I've got to make it a different sort of station. So it's got tissue paper. I've got no idea of knowing whether any of this packaging is original. I suspect there are some card separators that are missing from here. So I'm not going to unwrap all of it. So that's going to be far too messy to get that out. So there we've got some platform sections. So little thin ones, and I think there's some other bits and pieces down there. Let's just unwrap that. And these wonderful supports for the glazed unit across the top. So it's a fairly lovely thing. I think it was quite an expensive item to produce. And it's certainly not as sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Robust to play with on the carpet like the metal stations of the earlier years. So certainly like that. I mean, this would have been a wonderful product made in metal, but stunningly expensive, I imagine. I think their earlier wooden buildings were rather pretty as well. So yeah, so my plan is to, let's see if we can get another part out of it. I've got the roof section here. So again, we've got use of screws and washers. They seem to have tarnished very, very heavily, a little bit like the ones on the engine shed. Let's see, have we got Hornby 00 on there? I don't think these will have ever had trying. I don't think they changed the moulds. So I don't know whether these were made by Hornby 00 and then repackaged by Triang, or I know that the tools were moved to Margate for further production. They didn't get on very well with them. They're quite they were difficult to use from what I've read. So I'm not going to get too many of those out. I think we've got all the pieces there. There we go. So quite a lot to put together. Let's just have a look at a couple more pieces there. Whoops. So I think there's a clock that goes in there. I think there's a little bag of bits in there as well, of loose bits. I can't remember. I think I might be short of a door or something. I have it in mind that potentially there is a little piece missing, but I'm sure we'll get by there. Let's have a look there. So there's a bag of screws and connectors and things in there. It's all been taped up, very yellow sellotape there. So let's see if we can get one of these glazing units out and have a look. So, as I remember it, these are all intact. So it's a rather lovely item, but terribly fragile. I mean, these go beyond toys, I think, and they're very expensive in their day. So yeah, with the extra track I'm picking up, I'm hoping to bring a spur out there, and we'll bring it around. So we'll run it through the station there, and then we'll bring some of this Series 3 through it as well. So I think that's going to be quite impressive, and I've got some platform lengths. We'll make it long or longer, so we can accommodate perhaps a train a little bit like the Duchess with those 4 coaches we've seen there. Let's just pop that over there, and we'll pop that in there. So I'm really looking forward to getting that on the go, because I think I've commented for a number of people. So I've got a number of these things in boxes which have never seen the light of day. Get them out and have a bit of a play with them when you get them. Let's just have one more look at that group of items there. And then they disappear into boxes forever and ever. So it's definitely time to get this out and have a look at it. See if we can get it incorporated into the railway for a moment. So I've got another locomotive out here which I thought we might have a quick look over just before we cut to some footage of the TCS show. So this I think we saw running up and down on the line, on a straight line, when I first put this this layout board. We've renovated the layout board, sorry. And I think we saw it in the Doncaster video as well. I picked it up from Elaine. I haven't got the dummy units out, but I've got a couple of extra wagons. We had this caboose out before. And we've got the hopper wagon. And the number escapes me. I'll put in the catalogue number in the corner of the screen there. So these are quite beaten up models. They're all unboxed. We've got that nice stock car in brown. I quite like this in brown. I think it's quite a lovely model. Let's just have a look at it there. So I think we had a yellow one out before, didn't we? And this does have the unloading equipment, the drop out bottom there for using with the unloading bridge. But you can see it's been glued. But they're quite nice things, quite mute colours compared to the last section. And I think I had this out before, and it's got that the decals on the side, which are just flaking away. They're so dry, they're just flaking away. So try not to touch those. But I mean, it is a losing battle with those, along with the decals on the front of these. I think if you put varnish over, they go yellow, and they look pretty awful. So this one might have its original light in the end there. So I'm just going to give this a bit of power, although I seem to have hidden the controls for it. Let's get down here. Let's zoom out again. Let's grab that. Let's give that some power and see if that will run round. I've got something not switched on here, I think. So let's have a look. Yeah, normal. Yeah, we want handheld there. Actually, we're on the wrong one altogether. Poor planning. We want to be over here. Handheld. This time. There we go. So that's got the ribbed wheels on it. Not as happy as it could be on that point. Let's see if we can get back a bit. Let's see how it does with that point this time. Yeah, slight hesitation there. You can see that lamp lighting up quite nicely there. I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to slow that down while I do that. Otherwise I'm going to lose track. Let's see if we can come in a little bit tighter here. Let's have a look at those terrific wagons. Oh, a bit of a wobble on there, isn't there? Let's come back around here. Whoops. I'm going to back into something, I think. I've just missed that little yard switcher there. And I think we'll bring that gently round to a stop. Actually, no, I'm going to go through those points one more time. Just a little bit more momentum. Yeah, it's the point blades. I think the material doesn't transfer the power quite like the steel rails. And then we'll bring that gently to a stop. I think it's time to have a look at the footage, which I haven't shot yet from the TCS show, but I'm enormously looking forward to it. So I hope you enjoyed that footage. So today is Sunday, 6th of November. Yesterday was the Train Collector Society show. Spent a lot of time driving, very enjoyable event. Met up with Mr. Snooze and David Atkins, who'd come over from Canada. really great day out. Ate too much food, drank way too much tea, and came away with probably more things than I should have. But that's one of the joys of going to these shows. So I was just turning that train around. So obviously once we've got a loop running the one way around, you start thinking of ideas so you can turn it around the other way. So I've already been having a fiddle with a few pieces of track to see if I can make something work, but I don't know. We'll see how it transpires. Let's close that, and we will just have a look at this station in a moment. Let's just fully get this Duchess back onto the main line. We'll open up the points over here. There we go. So a stretch over there for the moment. I've got wagons in front of me, which makes that more complex than it needs to be. I picked up the wrong controller. So let's back that onto the main line. Let's see if we come back a little bit here. There we go. Let's switch that point work. Yeah, I shouldn't have left that freight train on the corner of the layout there doing that. I should have moved it out of the way. So let's roll that round one more time. I think I shut the point at the other end. Yeah, let's go. Let's give that a little power. Let's draw that around and we'll have a swift look at this station, which I've built into sort of its basic configuration. Yeah, we'll just stop that there. Give us some idea of the scale of the station against that four coach train. So quite a large thing, but it doesn't accommodate very much train. Let's roll this down here. There we go. I've done that without switching it off. So we've got it set up like that, which is sort of basically one of the suggestions in the instructions. Now, I did think I was missing a door. It turns out I think I'm missing 4 doors and 2 windows on the inside there, but we'll have a look at that. So I'm sure we can replace those. So let's rotate that around. Actually, we'll leave it like that. I don't know whether you can see it's sort of bowed, it's sort of distorted there. I don't know whether maybe somebody's had a lighting kit in there and it's got warm, or whether it's always had a bow in it there. I don't know. Let's see if we can come down there and see that. Definitely got a distortion in there. Kit goes together okay, it doesn't affect it at all, there's no cracks in it, but I hadn't noticed that. Let's turn the camera around again. There we go. We'll have a swift look over the top. Earlier in the video, I think I said this came along in about 1959. I think the plastic buildings began to appear or were announced in 59. I think this one was 61. I think it came along in 1961 into the shops. So that was just a bit of further reading since the last bit of video there. You can see it is really quite pronounced when you look at it, but say for arm's length you don't really see it. I was short of a clock face as well. So the later Triangle one had a clock face in it, so I just copied it and made a couple of extra ones on a bit of cardboard there and pushed those in. But it's quite a intricate kit to put together. It's not for the excited child, shall we say. It requires a little bit of concentration and perhaps more hands than most of us have. So I think these pieces here, let me reach down, let's go down here. These bits here, like in the engine shed, I think they're designed to clip on the lighting kit so you could illuminate inside there. Let's turn that around. So there we go. See, I knew I was missing something, I couldn't remember what it was. So there's the doors, and so 4 doors and 2 windows. So I'm on the edge of coughing fits again. So it could also be made up in a different format. So let's remove these end sections there. So that could be popped along there. I suppose you could take the glazing out of there, so you could see through to the station. So we'll pop that there, and then you have these pieces here. Sorry, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. So I think I'm going to use it as a through station, but with some more in a slightly different configuration than it suggests. That's my plan anyway, whether it works or not. So there you could have like, two roads running through there perhaps, and one through there. So it makes quite a fine looking building, but does take up quite a lot of space. Let's see if I can rotate the camera around, and we'll see if we can have a look inside the building there. Yeah, so I think if we took those glazing strips out, or glazing pieces, not strips, it would give a better view of the windows and doors on the inside there. So let's rotate the camera again. Here we have it. Let's just have a quick glance at the instructions again. There's a handful of pieces here, and these little sort of, they should be a bit more flexible than now. I think they've hardened with age, holding the platform sections together. If we have a look there, I think maybe they could slot into there and hold the platform together. And the large sort of black rubberized items there, I think they're designed for holding these two glazing parts together, although it seems to go together quite nicely without it. And these look like platform plugs, but they seem to be in the wrong colour, so I think they go into the holes. Let's have a look. Let's drag one of these up here. So I think they may go in the underneath there, like that, but they seem to be the wrong colour. Not quite sure about those. Maybe they have faded. Let's have a quick glance at the instructions again. There we go. So it does all slot together quite nicely, but it's just a little bit fiddly holding the pieces together while you get the screws in place. But it does go together. So it is quite impressive. And we've got instructions here about using Super 4 and buffer stops and things. Spare parts may be obtained from trying Hornby model railway stockists or direct from the factory. Shame the parts are no longer perhaps available. So let's pop that over there, and we'll have a quick glance at the some of the items that I came away from the show with. Too many things in the way here. A chair, a stool on the floor here. So slide that out of the way. So a bit of a pile of things. So another good handful of straight pieces. I've run out of any usable straights now. So I picked these. I arranged to buy these from Dave Angel before the show, and some of these electrically operated points in varying conditions, but they do run. They just need a degree of cleaning up, I think. Let's get that. Have a look at that. So I already have a few of these, but not perhaps enough to make any practical use of them. So it'd be quite nice to incorporate those just for fun. See, that's been torn straight out of a layout, hasn't it? But when you do apply power to these, they do actually throw over. So one of the lights again is flickering in the room. I apologise about that. That was happening the other day. I think the LED segments in one of them, they seem to be dropping out one by one. I really must order another one. So yeah, so we've got tracking various, like the bundle I got before, and this railway has eaten up way more pieces than I'd anticipated, and there is tracking in various conditions here, and I think there's various ages. You've got the square ends, and some of them have got round ends. You can see tucked down there. I think there is some of those pieces, although I can't see them now, that have cardboard insulators in them. I don't think they're going to be hidden. I should have dug them out and kept them on the top. When I come across them, I'll put them to one side, and we'll definitely remember to have a look at them. Yeah, so you get the general idea. So I'll be able to get a nice long, another spur off there, which I mentioned earlier. So we'll get that through station in there, and we'll run it through there. Just have a look at the size of this. I'm just going to extend this tape measure. Just excuse me wandering around with the camera there. So that's what have we got there? So we've got 16 inches, so about 40 centimeters, so just under half a meter. So the edge of the platform, step back a little bit there, edge of one side to the edge of the building, or the footsteps on the edge of that building there, getting on for the best part of 16 inches, 42 centimeters. So that's going to occupy quite a bit of space in there, but I think it'll look quite impressive. But yeah, we'll see if we can get that in there in the next week or so. Vicious. So yeah, bits of track. I come across another pair of these. I wasn't going to buy these, and they kept nagging at me. So I've got some of these in the RO set, and I think with that black princess from there, it would be nice to have just a few more of these. I'm hoping these will clean up quite nicely. They've definitely seen some action. So, but not too much of a bend in them, which is ultimately what swung it. So I think I really don't need any more, and then I think, well, they're not that bent. So do need a little bit of work, I think. But yeah, nice to have another couple of those. I think they will look very impressive. So when I've got the time in the next few weeks, I'll get those done. We'll work in this direction. A lovely bright orange, I think that's an R10 open wagon. Couldn't resist that lovely colour. Quite early one. Sleeved wheels on metal axles with the open axle boxes. So look at that, they're even cut off axles. I think this must be sort of early to mid 50s. It has got some distortion in it, so I'm not quite sure of the plastic material that was made from it. Look, see those little metal stubs coming through the base which hold it together. Apologise about the noise outside again. It is 6th of November, so people are still having firework parties and things, the occasional bursts of fireworks in the background. Came across some more of these. I've got a number of these elevated sidewalls. Last time I visited in sort of open cardboard boxes and things, so there's a complete set there, boxed, and it does have the leaflet detailing all of the elevated type accessories is the word I'm looking for. I don't think I'll be able to get that out. We did look at the leaflet just quite recently, but yeah, I was quite pleased to find those. And rummaging around in the box, I came across one of these track bumpers for the TC series. I do have another one of these, or several of these, but I cannot find them at the moment. And I came across one of these in a box. So I can't remember the model number of that. I don't think I can get that out of the packet one-handed. Let's see. No, we're not going to. Excuse me while we point the camera at nothing for a second, and we'll see if we can just shake that out. There we go. So they call that a track bumper. I wonder whether the model number, the item number, is printed on it. Doesn't appear to be there. Let's have a look down there and see if we've got any. I can't get any focus in there. I don't think there is anything printed in there at all. I'm sort of half thinking that the catalogue number would be. Have we got it in there? No, just made in England. I don't think the catalogue number's on there at all. Let's see if we can get a bit better light on there. We've got made in England. Yeah, so these go with the transcontinental models. I think they're quite cute things. Coal load for a princess. Always use a few more of those. I've definitely got a princess lying around without the coal load in it. Super 4 power clip. Might as well grab it whilst it's there. And it seemed daft. These are all out of the same box. Another uncoupler or decoupler, hand decoupler. I can never remember the model number of this. I think it is it 1? I'm not even going to guess. I'll just put it in the corner of the screen, so they're always going to come in useful, those. So quite nice to find those all in the same box on this Continental locomotive. So it's really quite a pretty thing. It does run, but it's going to need a little bit of attention. It's sort of fits and starts. It's very, very dry. The wheels, the axles, the connection rods, the motor, and whatever lubrication was on it has really dried out, so it needs a little bit of care before really running. So you can see the cellophane has definitely gone. So I think they made these in '69, and it was a reworked model from the earlier model from '63. If you have a look in the insert picture there, you can see the original model from the earlier '60s. So R653S 262 Continental tank locomotive, quite a pretty thing. Let's have a look at the other end of the box. Yeah, no paperwork with it, but still quite nice to have the box even in that condition. So yeah, let's move along here. And then these wagons, I wasn't going to get these, and then they were just sort of calling at me really, because they're such pretty things, very basic. I'm not sure the dates or numbers on any of these, but I thought they were quite nice. Let's get a few out, or we'll get them all out. So a closed van with some description, metal wheels. Some of these items have plastic wheels on them, and some have metal. So I really like these tin plate items. Fish van. So the roof's not quite, needs to slide along a little bit. Look at the detail on the end of there, just printed on. They are just lovely items. So let's see what we've got. A couple of more in there. The cattle type wagon. A pair of those. I already have a few of these, so these will just make up a more interesting race. I think that's another closed type, and the difference in colour is quite marked, isn't it? So this is much redder, this one. And I think we've got one more hiding in this bag. Meat insulated van. Great ladder running up the side of it there. The sort of, I think the crudeness is part of the appeal on these. The detail printed on there is just such quite a lovely thing. They all seem to have Hornby 00, made in England, Meccano Limited on the bottom. So the wheels just need a little bit of work to clean up. Let's get rid of that bag. The camera doesn't like the exposure on there at all. So I've got an Esso Petroleum Company Limited. Yeah, that one's got the plastic wheels on it, and a little bit on the dirty side. Couplings could, I think, need a little bit of adjustment on most of these things. That stay there is a little bit bent, I think. Or is that? Yeah, no, I think that needs a little bit of reshaping, perhaps. So, and these lovely yellow lubricating tankers. Great colour, isn't it? I mean, these are just really stand out on a railway. Quite exciting. And we've got another insulated van there, so a pair of those. It's going to make up a nice train, prototypical or not. So I quite like these. I have to come up with an interesting load for those, I suppose. See if we can put the 3D printer back to work again. Let's have a look what's down the side there. We've got those little, I think they're transfers. I don't think that's painted on. It all looks in fairly tidy condition. It's definitely had a bit of a life. Definitely dusty. Somebody's had something standing on there, haven't they? And you can see where the dust has settled. Another one. You can see where we're going to go with that. And then the well wagon. Yeah, I've got some of those larger cable drums that are printed, which I'm thinking of installing on those. There's another sticker on the side. I think that's a sticker. But yeah, ooh, look at that type on the bottom of there. That's grand, isn't it? Hornby 00, made in England, Meccano Limited. You can't miss that. So I'll just pop that down here. So all of those are going to need a little bit of attention, but not too much. I think they're going to run really, really, really nicely. And another handful, sorry, moving too quickly there, of the buffers that we saw on the back of the engine shed I put in the other day. So I was quite pleased with that lot. Perhaps came away with a little bit more than I was anticipating. Let's get rid of that bag as well. So let's see if we can just finish off and get something else running. So let's have a look at this single-ended diesel again. I've been having a little bit of a think about this, and I'm not convinced whether it's the point blade or whether it's just the dead spot caused by the plastic frog here, which is causing that to slow a little. So let's back that up again. Give that just I'm pointing in the wrong place. Yeah, so it sort of does it. So when you measure them with a meter, and when you got them on the bench, you've got continuity through them. But I have noticed that some are better than others, and this one I'm just going to have a look at here. I don't know whether you've noticed in the past, I put these little sort of phosphor bronze pickups in there to improve those. That's been quite successful on there, although they do scream out in the colour, and I should have perhaps filled that in black a little bit. It's made quite a nice job of that. So I think what we'll do, we'll put this in the siding, and then we'll get that on the other line, and we'll see how it runs over that, and see if it'll pull that rake of coaches that I've got in the station at the moment. So let's charge round here with it. And bring that to a stop there. And we'll flip that open. And let's run that into the siding. Got the other point set correctly, otherwise that yard switcher will be flying off the end of the siding there. There we go. So let's just by hand we'll remove the other single-ended diesel. Let's take that off there. I've got no sort of interconnecting track yet between one side and the other. I think I will get around to that. Let's just uncouple that. We'll take off the dummy unit as well. We'll just leave those there, and we'll go and collect the earlier one. There, we're going to be able to get this one off. There we go. So it's in fairly nice condition, missing a little bit of its decal on the front. I'm not sure whether those plastic inserts are original in here or not. They seem slightly domed, and I have got some others. Another example that's got flat plastic in without a doming effect on it, so I don't know what's original and what's not. So, and the later ones had a metal, like a metal rivet put in. I think that was to try and dissipate the heat from the lamp, maybe. Or we're going to be able to get these hooked up there, so we've got type 3 couplings and type 2 couplings there, so hopefully they'll stay together. Alright, let's give that some power. I'm just going to actually, we've got a cable just in the way here. Perhaps let's just move that. I also realised this video is probably New Year's Day. It sort of escaped me when I started making it. This is when this one was going to go out, so hope you all had a great New Year's yesterday. So let's give this some power. I've got the wrong controller. I keep doing this, so let's swap that over to that side, and then I don't have to be fixed to the controller. Handheld. There we go. So now we should have power. Yeah, it has no trouble with those at all. Through the station. Can't remember how we got the point set on the other side here, so it'll be a surprise which way around the station it goes. There we go. And I think that's probably it for this week. But thanks again for watching and taking the time on what must be New Year's Day. Goodbye now.